This is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm
Oh,
married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Woo! What's up, everybody?
What's going on? What are all these people doing in my house?
We're actually live at
Oh.
the time. Christmas Eve, we're hanging up at the North Pole with, that's who you're hearing in the background. All the elves are getting some food, having a good time. And we're their entertainment because their boss is up in the air, and when the big man's away, the elves will play.
Oh, I thought we were just kind of doing our show here.
And they just
You know,
showed
like
up?
as a remote. No, they're here for something else, and we're just
Oh, yeah.
doing our radio show next to it. I didn't know we were the fucking entertainment.
Yeah, man. We are. And that was a minute 10.
You guys are fucked.
Even in a live show.
You guys are
I even
fucked.
gave you the
if
runway.
If this is the entertainment that he gave you, wow.
I'm just saying the big guy's skimping if we're your entertainment. But we are. So thank you for joining us. By the way, I hope you saw the disclosure. Before being a part of this live show, there will be spoilers for Dune Prophecy and Creature Commandos. So
If you do get into a fight with anybody, please make sure that you notify somebody so we can bet on said fight. I think that's about it.
Can we start, since this episode, we're doing this here, and I'm sure these people would like to talk about this because I'm sure they were offended by this movie.
I was offended.
It
What
is.
movie?
I have not
Which
watched
movie?
it, and I probably won't because it just doesn't look like. The Rock has lost a lot of luster for me as a movie
What was
star.
offensive? Red One?
For them, Red One is offensive.
Oh, I think you were
'Cause-
serious. I'm like, cool.
Here's why it's offensive. Because on its face, it's an interesting premise.
Is it?
That Santa would have a bodyguard. Because if you think about it, no offense to our friends out in the audience, but elves are not that, like...
Talk about this later.
What?
Are you kids killed?
All I'm saying is if somebody
Shut
wanted to
up,
take over the North
dude.
Pole, they could. There's not a lot of, like, normal-sized people.
I don't even know this fucking guy. I don't even know this fucking guy at all. He showed up.
Yeah,
Pretty
we
much.
hear you. We hear
Pretty
you.
much, yeah. Try that again. That's much better.
Also, look, let's be real. Can we also talk about a couple things?
Sure.
The irony of Christmas could be one of them. But I wanted to talk about Red One. I'm not going to watch this. Maybe I will. I don't know. And if I do, I will make sure to do it for content, and we'll definitely talk about it on the show. But
yeah. go ahead. Sorry.
It's an interesting idea for a premise, I think, to have bodyguards with Santa. But
Is it?
it just, everything that I've seen about it just, like, does not
You
trip
know
my
what's an
trigger.
interesting premise for a movie? Is if a guy like accidentally kills Santa Claus and then he becomes Santa Claus.
Whoa.
Well, we can call it the Santa Claus.
Claus with an E.
Get it? We're lawyers. We wrote it.
We wrote it.
Let's make a fucking. I talked to somebody who's like a huge fan of the Santa Claus movie, the first one, and I was like, "Did you watch the show?" And he's like, "No," and I'm just like,
Why?
"Are you so upset?
Yeah. They
Are
killed
you,
my child.
are you upset that it got made? Are you upset that it was?"
Yeah.
I don't know.
But more importantly, I just want to talk about that. And just,
Can we talk about our favorite Christmas movies? Or
I
have
mean, we
done
did that last year, but we could do it
We did that last week.
last year.
Well, fuck them. They didn't listen.
We
There's
weren't at the North
There's
Pole
like 1,000
last year.
people who did not hear our favorite. And also,
Yeah.
they might have changed. There's been Christmas movies out since then. Listen, Lifetime and Hallmark Channel pump out about 14 fucking brand new goddamn Christmas movies a week. Every
A week.
fucking year, dude. So trust me when I say that we can probably
You know.
have a new,
Yeah.
possibly, very
Yeah.
possibly have a new favorite Christmas movie.
Really?
Maybe.
You know what I really want to
I
see?
don't watch any of those
It's
movies.
not a
but
Christmas movie,
what?
but I respect the balls to put it out on Christmas.
You're,
I want to check out the new Nosferatu movie.
eh.
But
What's so scary about it?
So can I just talk on this? Because I watched.
I know vampires aren't real.
I'm gonna pull it up on YouTube because it was a really good video, and I want to give a shout out. So I was watching. Why do you get so mad when I talk about? You're watching other YouTubers.
God. No.
Hats off Entertainment. He did a video about the marketing of Jim Carrey's Grinch, and all the crazy money that went into that. I recommend watching it. It's really good. It's like 25-minute video, but it's really good because it breaks down the crazy negotiating they had to do to get it. The Dr. Seuss properties were so valuable. It was $5 million up front, and then a percentage of merchandise, a percentage of everything. And then it also had a certain clause where it only could be they named off 5. Jim Carrey was one of them, but they listed off 5 actors or proven actors at that time of they're money makers.
Yo.
So they can actually make money.
Who were they?
I don't remember. Again, watch the video. It's really good.
I would really like to know right now.
It talks about the irony of it because the whole irony of that story and that of all of it was that consumerism is the problem with Christmas because Christmas is about being with people you love. And that's the irony of it too because the idea of Santa Claus is a socialist idea. These guys know because they're doing it for free. They're giving it away for free, And it's also the most capitalistic BS holiday in the world. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't hate Christmas, but I think the Grinch is such a good story, and why kids love it and why adults love it is because it's a very relatable story, and when you find out why he wrote it, he said he wrote it because he was disenfranchised with Christmas.
Who the fuck is it?
That's what I mean. It's a very relatable story because everybody reaches a point where I'm sick of this holiday.
I've only
I'm
ever seen the first cartoon.
We love you. We love you guys. We love the North Pole.
Of course. I saw the very first cartoon back when I was a kid a lot, and then
Classic.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Yeah. You really are a hero.
And then it was a decade, and I hadn't read the book since I was a kid. And I picked up the book somewhere. He was babysitting or something like that.
Yeah.
One of the kids. I don't know. Library. I was in the library. I don't know. But I had a copy of it. I was reading it, and it was just what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
No, it was my copy from when I was a little kid. I found it.
Oh, yeah, because it's black and white. It's not the,
It is not...
iconic green and, yeah.
If you're used to any of it, and you go back and read it, you're just this doesn't make any sense. I don't even think there's a fucking dog in the book.
I think that's what makes The Grinch so great. It's a very relatable story, and it is kind of something that points out the irony of this holiday of people take so much time putting too much value in gifts.
Yeah.
When honestly, when you reach a certain point as an adult, for me, I don't ask for gifts.
Cash.
I just hit puberty.
Cash.
I don't even honestly, when I'm trying to give,
if you're gonna give me
if
something,
I want to
give
give
me
gifts
cash.
and I want to try and do gifts, I want to try giving experiences, right?
Sure.
So I'm
Or
always trying to
something
get
that means
tickets or go somewhere together. You know what I mean? Do experiences because you can't take all the it's cool. I'm not gonna say I don't have things that I collect and have and cherish. But at the end of the day, you can't take this shit with you.
No.
So that's why I think it's important to give each other the gift of experience on the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. I think.
And I'm not saying don't get each other gifts.
Well,
I'm just saying
my song,
that's the way I
Little
look at it.
Drummer Bird, which is available everywhere
On
for the
Spotify,
amazing
everywhere
T-Bird.
you can get it. All the music places.
Is of course a punk take on Little Drummer Boy, and
That'll play us out tonight.
here's the thing: I never really thought about the message of that song until after it came out. But at the end of it, I say, I'd rather have something somebody made than something somebody bought.
Right.
And what I mean by that is very clearly, hey, you can buy me stuff that's, in the store or whatever, but what means more to me case in point, like if I bought something, like if I bought a piece of tech for like $200 for my brother, he'd be happy with it. But if I get him like, you know, $14 action figure from Jay's, you know, that's like from our childhood. That's a thought. That's like I went out of my way.
Or like
Which actually not, because I'm in Jay's all the time when I'm at that. But you know what I mean? Like I that's how I try to give gifts.
yeah, and
I think I gave you. Did I give you the Green Lantern, the Red Lantern?
you gave me it's at my desk at work.
Okay, cool.
But you got me.
But that's something like
yeah,
that.
because you
found
know
that,
I like the Red Lantern.
I
stuff.
found that like 6 months before your birthday, and I'm like, well, I'm getting that because it was on clearance.
Wow.
But I knew it wasn't going to be for me. I was like, I know Jake
Yeah.
is a big fan of like the different lanterns, and this is kind of a cool. Hal Jordan has a Red Lantern, and I'm like, this will be a cool gift for you. And it really just took the thought to buy it then.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll say this: I'm a fan of doing holiday stuff like a weekend before.
Yeah,
like
this
2 weeks.
midweek shit is bullshit.
Yeah, because look, I witnessed firsthand how stressful it was to go to 2 Christmas celebrations with my dad's and my mom's. So I like the idea of doing that and then having just a Christmas with my family. And I think I've done it the last couple of years. Ashley and I have had like Christmas Day together, and it's like I would recommend that more. I think there's a time to spend with family, and there's time to spend alone. And if you're driving home,
to spend with family.
or you're driving to spend it with family,
Time to spend alone.
or you're with us here at the North Pole,
With us here at the
let's raise our
North Pole.
glasses.
Let's raise our glasses to.
Now let's talk about some current shit.
Let's talk about some shit.
Dune Prophecy, Episode 6, the finale. I texted you. I watched it this morning.
I watched it last night.
Yeah, I watched it. I got up early before my kid and watched it. And I will tell you this. This is the first time I was satisfied with the Penguins finale, but it's been the first time in a while, I feel like, where I've had 2 shows have really satisfying finales, like with Penguin and this. And I think I probably honestly enjoyed this one more because this finale struck a different chord for me emotionally as a parent. And it would strike me even more if I was a mom, but even just my experience as a father, it was like, oof, because this is a tough one. And by the way, the elves here know, spoilers, we could just jump around, because there's a few things that I really want to talk about.
Jump up, and get down.
I want to talk about Tula's arc in this show. Because Valya's arc is interesting, and I like her a lot. But for me, this whole season consistently, Tula has been the most interesting character. Because it was like watching Breaking Bad, where Walter White finally admits that, like, I did this because I liked it. I liked being the Kingpin. It was nice to see in this finale at the end for Tula to go, we're the same. We're wolves, and we're always looking to feed. And I was like, damn, Tula finally comes true because of all the shit that's happened.
I thought for a second that Valya was going to knife her. Because she had her knife
I don't
out.
think she, no, yeah, maybe, but
I was just worried.
that was such a crazy moment because where we got to in that story and where we got with those 2 was like, it was an amazing moment of that character coming full circle, because it manipulates you, because Valya is so ruthless and such a blunt object, and what she wants, she's gonna fucking get. And Tula is the one where you're like, she loves her sister. She doesn't know, how, there's the complexity to her, but then at the same time, she still is willing as her sister to do these things. She killed a whole group of a family out of just hatred.
Well, Valya killed a whole group of fucking sisters.
Yeah, and we see that in this episode. She forced
Choose.
you choose, and like forcing these women in that moment, and only one woman survived all of that. And then you find out that they put their fucking bodies underneath everything. Like, holy shit. And you see there, and it's like, okay. And for me, not reading all the books and just getting into this is like, damn. I really love that they're just committed to always making these are always the bad guys. The Harkonnens will always be the villain because they're fucking ruthless and they are wolves. Like she said it best. The whole world is their meat.
It's
like, they don't give a shit.
The bull and the bull is most closely associated with the Atreides, and the wolf is the most closely associated with the Harkonnens.
Right.
But yeah, by the time of Paul Atreides, like they're just sociopaths.
But her arc, I think, was the interesting one,
Not
and
very
it's
much
like you and I were talking
less.
about it.
Of that now.
Was like there's that moment with the baby where I told you I got emotional about it because. So I can only speak from a male.
I got emotional.
But I can only speak from a dad's perspective. But I can tell you what I saw when my kid was born, and I saw how precious that time a newborn has with their mother. Just from an outsider's perspective, right? Just being someone in the room with them. And to see that taken away, I was like, fuck. But then I also remember the consequences of her being with this child are from her killing a bunch of people. So then it's like, well, fuck you, Tula. You did murder a whole group of people. You know what I mean?
I just can't.
On one level, as a parent, I could feel for her on that.
I just can't believe Francesca's end. So unceremonious. And watching Haviko unravel.
Okay, so
just from moment to moment
again,
was just hats off, Mark Strong.
How did you? Okay, we keep jumping all over. But to wrap up my thought on that is, yeah, that's the great that I really love about the show is what they constantly do is when you start to feel sympathy for a character, then you remember of like, hold on a minute. Mm-hmm. She killed all those people.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. She killed all those sisters and then put their bodies under the fucking temple. Like, you start. It's like I'm just gonna stop comparing them, but it is that moment of where you start to realize, oh yeah, these two are still the villains. They're the bad ones.
Well, then her niece or her nephew has that thing that recorded everything. Where did he get that from again?
He got it from Desmond. When he was spiced out, telling him about the rebellion.
Isn't that fucking a thinking machine that he gave him?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I really don't.
So what else do you want to, we're going to jump around. Do you want to talk about Haviko next and, his downfall and that whole, because I felt for him, too. You talk about Mark Strong. I was like, when Valia dresses him down, I'm like, fuck, man. She's laying out there like she doesn't really love you. She's just using you.
She's like, hey, I'm going to go get myself arrested. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And she walks into the empty chamber, and they cut away, and when they come back, she's sitting in the throne. Now, I think all of us who have followed this show can probably guess that her or anybody sitting in that throne in front of the emperor is probably a big no-no.
Yeah.
Probably a big no-no, I'm going to say. I'm going to guess.
Oh, yeah. There's one thing I've learned from the Imperium, they're all about ceremony.
I thought that's all it was going to be, right? And then he was like, what are you doing? And then he was like, well, wait a second. You know what? Whatever. I need your help, And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, this is perfect for her. But she's like, nope. I have to do it anyway.
I'm going to fucking kill you. I made a plan. I'm going to kill you. And then she dresses him down saying that his whole life was a lie. So to see him break down like that, you feel for him on some level because it is kind of a crazy thought and a horrifying thought to think like he says, you have no freedom. Because later in the episode, he's like, it's crazy to think of how little freedom you have.
Well, I have true freedom.
And he decides to take his life after he also found out that, Francesca was backing up what she said. It was all a part of their plan. And she's like, no, but I didn't go through with it. I'm not going to kill you. I love you. I don't want to do this. And then he tries to attack her. And she's like, the imprint won't let you. and there's that whole thing, and you're right. It sucks, and it's unceremonious, but I like it because it shows consequence. I like it when a show gives me consequence, because I feel too often we get wrapped up in the plot armor and main character problem of like, well, we know that this doesn't happen because this is this, and this is a prequel to this, but because there's so much space, you can kind of play with, I don't really know who's going to live or die, or I don't know how impactful this character is with this moment or this time.
Again, it's one of the books between the Legends trilogy and the original Dune books. I don't know. As I've stated before, there's a trilogy that explores Leto and the Baron and stuff when they were teenagers.
Yeah, I don't really care about that.
I don't either. And I tried reading one.
Honestly,
I think they're House Carino, House Atreides, and House Harkonnen is what they're called.
If I were to read the books, I think I would just read the main saga. I don't know if I'd read any of the prequel stuff. But I will say I've really enjoyed this show, and I think this does really well of wrapping. I'm impressed in 6 episodes how well it wrapped all the stories. And so
the last episode was like an hour and a half.
So the death of Havico and Francesca is so quick and sudden and shocking. But I think, again, it's so much consequence.
She was fucking great.
She was great. He was great. And you really feel a tragic moment when they die. And the fact that, like, I don't know.
Like Shakespeare
I don't know about
level
you
shit,
when I was.
dude.
Yeah, no, that's what I love about it.
She
It's
takes her
sci-fi
fucking
Shakespearean shit.
Takes her fucking skirt away when he's trying to reach for it. Like, fuck.
Well, yeah, when she even the shot of her coming in from the low angle of the hand of the syringe being, and I just like, I don't know about you, but when I was watching, I was like, ah, shit, because I knew it was her, and I knew she was gonna fucking kill her, and so that happens, and yeah, it's that really like Greek tragedy, like classical, like literature, like
fucking
let's go with
Perseus.
my robe.
No,
You will die here.
you will be.
Dude, again, I was thoroughly impressed
Thoroughly.
with how well it, again, tied up all those storylines and then set up, as we know, there will be a season 2, setting up where they're going to go next, and as we continue to build, because we're still 150 years away from that first movie. So
we're like 100. We're like 9,000 years away.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The Butlerian Jihad ended 10,000 years before Paul Atreides.
Oh, what'd you think about the Butlerian name drops?
Yes.
Butlerian name
Well,
drops.
okay, so the Butlerians were a religious sect that were like ultra. They were basically like, okay, did you watch Da Vinci Code?
No.
Okay. Paul Bettany played a Catholic guy of this particular sect that like practices self-flagellation and shit. They got all up in arms because they're like, we don't do that. And they're like, and reporters are like, do you never self-flagellate? They're like, well, okay, no, we do, but just not that often. It was like, shut the fuck up.
They're like, hey man,
I'll eat your ass.
Yeah, pretty much. Wow,
if
way
I'm
to go.
pushed, I will. You ask.
No, but the Butlerians were the type who were like going world to world, like destroying toasters and shit. You know what I mean?
Walk in your house and be like,
Fuck you.
you're making some toast?
Yeah, they like destroy your TV. No, but they
It's
like
thinking.
no, they were slaughtering people too.
Oh.
Like they were just, oh, you have a toaster? Well, fucking, you're dead. It was insane.
You have a toaster?
I'll drink your blood.
What happened was during the, there's all of these things that come together in that first 3 books. And one of them is that the virus that the machine worlds, the synchronized worlds, drop into the human worlds. And like billions and billions of people die. And I can't remember her name, but she's a niece of Serena Butler's. But she almost dies. Like she's in like in the book it talks about her like being like delirious and shit. She somehow comes out of it but she's changed, right? Like her skin is almost pale, almost translucent. She has no hair. But she somehow like made it through and survived. And so she takes it upon herself, like she had visions of Serena and all this other shit, and it's my mission and da-da-da-da-da. And of course it gets poisoned by people who want power and, you know, politics behind her that don't have anything to do with her actual shit. But then it becomes, you know, it becomes people slaughtering families, whole families, because you had a fucking toaster, you know? It's like, whoa. Which is the type of thing that Paul wants to avoid.
What, you don't like peanut butter toast, man?
You don't like peanut butter toast, you fuck?
It's like...
Crack cocaine.
Peanut butter on gold.
Actually, that would be spice. Spices.
Crack cocaine.
Hey, I've never snorted crack.
Brilliant.
Anyway.
Hey, no,
Well, I want to talk about...
before we
Nez
move
and,
on, I got to talk about how
yeah.
dumb of a drug cocaine is.
Okay, kids. Get ready for a PSA at the North Pole. So you did some coke.
This is the dumbest thing ever. Whoever made cocaine was like, "Hey, all right, it's done. Check it out." I'm like, well, how do we do it? Well, you snort it. Just like no. The best way. What?
If you're going to list it off, you know what we're going to have to do. So go ahead. What do you do with cocaine?
No, we're not doing that. What? No, because it's not a list.
Oh.
No, the best way to do it is you roll up like a dollar bill, and then you like snort it through. That way it gets right in your nostril.
Finish it. Finish it.
Can you shoot it in your veins? Sure you can do that. Okay, but
Sloppy.
wait a second. If I sneeze, it's all gone. Yeah. And it costs how much? It costs a lot. And I have to keep taking it every 10 minutes. Yeah. And like I can't just like, you know, smoke it like a cigarette outside. Right? Well, you can dip your cigarettes in it. Is it the same? No, it's different.
Nice.
All right, anyway, back to Spice and Dune Prophecy. Let's talk about Nez and the...
If you sneeze, it's gone.
What? Anyway, back to Nez and... what's the Atreides guy's name?
Kieran Atreides.
Kieran Atreides. The most Irish-sounding man.
Is there a dog in the crowd? It's like a helicopter. What?
There's an issue with the audio there, but we fixed it.
Caterpillar got in there.
Yeah, well, they didn't care. The elves were fine, man. They're getting lit off eggnog out there because they put
Why'd
in
you
a
get
lot
lit
of
off eggnog?
You know how hard it is to make a PS5 in the North Pole? It's very hard. Xbox is a little bit easier, but PS5s.
You don't need as much gold to
Have you
make it.
seen my PS5? It's fucking huge. It's like a small child. It is heavy too.
My game system is awesome.
But I play
Huge,
Marvel
heavy.
Rivals and Helldivers.
All right, so back to the show.
And I play with your emotions. I'm taking too long. What'd you think? So Nez escapes with Valia and the Atreides. Even though Valia tries to say no, Nez is like, nah, I love him. He didn't
I love
betray
him.
me.
I want
He
him to
wasn't
come
going
with
to.
me.
I true said on him,
I
and he
love
said
him.
that he loved me.
He loved me. I love him.
And then we saw the what's her name? The
Theodosia.
yeah, Theodosia, the one that can face.
She takes
What
over
do they
for
call it?
Nez.
Face dancer?
She's a face dancer because she talked to Francesca about it.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, I couldn't remember what the name was. That's why I said face dancer?
Tlulax.
With a question mark?
Tlilaxu. The
Yeah.
Tlilaxu.
Tylax.
Anyway,
So, overall, what do you think of this episode?
well, we can't forget about the Sook doctor who tried to transmute the poison, the virus,
oh, yeah,
and
and
died.
that's when we found
That was
yeah.
rough.
So that's how we found out it's a machine.
Well, the problem with that is that she goes to Seleucus Secundus to tell Valia, and while she's away, all heck breaks
That's when
loose.
they find out the truth because
Well,
Lila
first of all-
breaks free
First of
by
all,
tricking.
listen,
Who's the
listen.
Jen, that's not her name.
If you're supposed to keep, okay, first of all, if you're supposed to keep somebody tied up, you need think about the
about your life.
choices.
Think about your life. Think about what
in
you
your
got.
life. Yeah.
Exactly.
But say you're in this position, right?
Sure.
And your friend,
Whatever the case is.
who may be the person you're talking to, but maybe somebody else, because there's a lot of shit going on in there.
She's talking with her ancestors.
You
and
could
don't
be
know what's
talking.
happening.
You could be talking to somebody evil, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, "Hey," and you acquiesce, like, "Okay, yeah, I'll lighten them for you. I'll loosen them for
Yeah,
you."
yeah.
The last thing you want to do is lean over for the other one. Duh, 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 duh. I'm gonna lean over you to get that other one, and oop, you stuck something in my bag. Beep, 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 beep. What a fucking idiot, dude.
Yeah.
Just life lesson.
Come on.
Life
if you're
hack.
going to have someone captive, in the name of Little Caesars, if you're going to have someone captive.
Well, the name of Little Caesar. Now, I should say this as saying that I am a big fan of people who are, getting out of those situations.
Sure.
So, I'm not mad, but obviously the person,
Making a joke about a show.
the person who got out shouldn't have gotten out, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
so
she was
she's the one that
dangerous.
killed herself at the beginning.
But how many times have you seen a show where somebody is like being held captive by the
Yeah.
bad guy like that, and they're like,
So, yeah,
"Da-da-da,"
Lila
and
gets-
they lean over
And,
and
all
they get,
the time.
you hit him on
classic-
the head with the other hand, but because you got your hand
Look, man,
out,
I'm
right?
just saying, if you got a character tied up and you're the other character, don't acquiesce.
Don't lean.
Don't lean.
Yeah. Also, don't act. Yeah. Walk away and be like, I don't know how
Hey,
many
man,
people
you're
are in
captive.
there.
I don't know what's going on. So anyway, DiMatteo takes over Lila.
Dorothea.
DiMatteo. Way off. Samsonite.
Dematana.
Swat, Samsonite.
Danatana. Sister Danatana takes over.
So Santana takes over.
Mother Santana.
Anyway, so
Mother Dora Lingus.
what is her fucking name?
Mother Dora Lingus.
No, fucker. What's her name?
Dorothea.
Dorothea. Dorothea takes over. And she says, hey,
Dora Flava.
look, Valia,
Flavin.
Valia made me fucking kill myself, and then look, she made me kill all those sisters. This is where their bodies are, because she like opens up a thing and shows them, lets out the water, shows all the skeletons.
Hey, if you're gonna bury, here's a tip from me to you.
Look, a couple things. If you're gonna kidnap somebody in the name of Little Caesars,
If you're gonna bury a bunch of
today's
bodies,
Little Caesars petty crime update.
if you're gonna bury a bunch of bodies under a man-made lake in the middle of a courtyard, maybe don't put in a little mechanism that somebody can flip and just
shows
drain
all
it.
the dead bodies.
Hey, there it is.
Hey, all the fucking people you
Glad they made that mechanism so I don't have to fucking dive down there and pick something up or something.
Well, and the fact that
Just
like
be smart, bad guys, okay?
the fact that Francesca was there at the beginning was kind of crazy. I didn't even think about that. That
So was Kasha.
yeah, like that whole thing of that, and so that explains why Francesca is so loyal to Valia and why she believes in the mission, even if it means killing Havoco. But then she wusses out at the end because she ain't committed. Sisterhood above all, Francesca. Now you're dead.
Listen.
You're dead.
Listen. It's Mark Strong.
Oh, I mean,
Can you blame her?
can you blame him? I mean, they're both
don't
they're
wanna
both beautiful
kill
people
you,
here.
Cause she's a beautiful looking dude.
He could tell me sweet nothings in that gravity
He's the
deep
emperor
voice.
of the universe.
There's nothing wrong with Mark Strong.
Mark Strong. Every day, never night so long. Mark Strong. Merry Christmas, Mark Strong.
Merry Christmas, Mark
I've been loving you
can't
so
go
long.
wrong.
Can't go wrong loving Mark Strong.
That's a fucking hit.
That's a fucking hit.
You're welcome, Santa.
You're
In the
welcome,
elves.
Santa.
Where's Mrs. Claus at? She's getting shots of eggnog.
Mrs. Claus is in the champagne room, dude.
Whoa! I'm gonna get her out of there. It's an open relationship. You know, I always thought that. I always thought that song, that "Mama Kissing Santa,"
Oh yeah.
was about mom making out with Santa, but in reality, it's just the kids seeing their dad. I was like, oh. But I like
Took me a while to figure that out too. No, you know what I mean though. Like when you're young and you hear it, the first thing you think, because you don't know Santa is probably your dad.
No, yeah, from a kid. Yeah, that's what's real good about it.
Also,
That's the song.
let me make this clear. If I ever did see my dad or my mom like putting presents away when I was sleeping the night before, they weren't fucking dressed up as Santa or Mrs. Santa.
Dude, no. Now this song takes on a wilder take because now they're cosplaying. Mom and dad are fucking role playing, dude. That's what that song's really about.
That's fucked up, dude.
Is it? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to. I'm thinking they're like, they've been married a while.
Close the door and lock it. Is the thing.
Yeah, they're fucking in their
That's
own
fine.
home. Let them
Close
fuck.
the door and lock it. That's
But yeah,
all
you
right.
got kids. You need to
Be aware. Be aware of one thing. If you have children, that at any point they may
you need to
walk
lock
up,
a door. Yeah.
or they may wake
So
up.
if you're gonna get frisky with your hubby,
Close the door and lock it.
close the door and lock it.
Remember just going to the bathroom? Just wanted to. I locked the door. Just wanted to walk in.
And especially if you have a pet too,
Oh yeah.
because then that's real awkward.
Why are you doing that to mom? No.
Hey, why you guys wrestling? Anyway, why Santa wrestling? I can't believe we made that song wholesome and then dirty all in the same time.
Well, in the context of that, if you're not aware of what,
Well, I
sex
feel like
is,
it should also be like earth-shattering.
Probably looks and sounds horrifying.
It should also be earth-shattering to the game. I'm not saying they're just kissing in the song. They're not fucking.
Oh. Well, you were talking cosplay, and I'm like, well, that means you're fucking.
Well, yeah. That's how, then I made the joke that it actually is about Santa fucking
Wow.
mommy. But
Wow.
Like mommy is Mrs. Claus in this
Wow.
context. Like they're role playing. You know. Where are we? We're in the North Pole.
We're going to talk about the fucking Superman trailer that blew our fucking minds.
Should we do creature first? Or
I
do you wanna
fucking guess.
Well, Superman will be short.
Either way, I want to talk about both of them.
We never really finished talking about prophecy, but
Did we?
Yeah, I think.
Well,
we talked about everything we wanted to talk about.
The scene at the end between
the Desmond
and Tula was awesome, and I'm excited to see where they can go from here, because it, Valia and Nez and Kieran are now on Dune. Habako's dead, so it's Desmond and Natalia in power on Seleucia Secundus right now.
And then he had Tula arrested, even though
Yeah.
they share a hug and a moment together.
Whoa. She's still a sister of the Bene
Yeah,
Gesserit.
she still left him.
I don't even know if she knows that. If he knows that, all I know is that he's
There's
As far as I'm
there's some
concerned-
sort of connection there.
right.
Like there's some sort
Right,
of-
and he might find that out later and change
Yeah,
next
yeah.
season. But at that moment, he was like, "Stop!" First of all, he was like, "Don't touch me," when she first sits down with him, and then they share like a moment or whatever.
like
but
there's
then he
cl-
says,
that's what I mean.
"I'm thinking that he just thinks she's a Bene Gesserit and she's got to pay." And even if he knows that she's his mom,
But that's what I mean.
she's still a Bene Gesserit and she's got to pay.
When they share that hug, it's a moment I feel of some sort of knowledge, or maybe not even. I don't necessarily think he knows it's his mom, but
I
he
don't
could
know.
definitely sense something from her,
Maybe.
And
it's possible he could have heard.
or maybe he
overheard
just
them
hugged her and
talking.
cried out of relief because of everything that's happened.
I don't know, my man.
We don't know. We'll find out in season 2. But
Yeah, the
that was
rest of the
such a-
show.
again, that was a heartbreaking moment.
There's a lot of heartbreaking
But
moments
then
in
you
that
also remember
show.
that like all these people have done shitty things at some point. That we are also like, I don't know, you killed a bunch of people, and yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. But the whole scene with the machine and his pulling his eye out and then looking back at him. That was really trippy. I really liked that a lot.
I thought it was gonna be fucking ominous, dude.
So I'm thinking the Shia LaBeouf thing was an illusion that was created by the machines,
maybe.
and he was actually taken by a thinking machine, like under the guise of Shia LaBeouf, and that was whoever took him, put the thing in his eye, and that's where we're at.
I don't know.
This is my guess. This is all guess. I have no
All
fucking
conjecture, love.
conjecture.
It's all conjecture at the North Pole.
All right, so let's talk about
Creature
Superman.
Commandos.
Oh, which one? Son of a bitch. Which one?
I thought you said you wanted to talk Creature
Well,
Commandos first.
we could segue into either or because it's DCU and
I say we do
Superman-
Creature Commandos.
Okay, fine.
Because it's first.
Fine. Creature Commandos. It is. I was saying Superman, but now it's Creature Commando.
Creature.
So, episode 4 is, which crazy. We only have 7, so we only have 3 more of these. Episode 4 is focused on Weasel, and well, actually, we've got the most revealing thing about the DCU. And I think what's interesting to me is like, okay, James Gunn isn't necessarily like laying his cards out on what I think he is showing something that will happen, right? But it is years and years and years and years from now. I think he's just planting a seed for something. I don't necessarily think that scene that we see in this is actually going to happen, but I think it's like it's an allusion to something later on.
I'm not well versed enough in the DC universe to know what possibly could be going on, or who this character could possibly be, or if it is even a character from the comic books.
I'm not really familiar with this character. So we find out Cersei is in custody.
Cersei, no way.
They return back to the base, and she
Definitely thirsty.
and she
Island full of women, sign me up.
and she has a whole thing with Amanda Waller. She's like, you don't understand. Like, we need to fucking kill the princess. She's like, what are you talking? Yeah, you bullshit. She's like, come here, I'll show you. Come in here, and I will show you. I can't cast any spells. You got my hands locked up, but I can give you. She said like an impression or something of like, I'll let you see into my thoughts or my visions or something. So she goes in there, she gets a vision, and it's like, yeah, the princess is like this ultra-fascistic, militaristic supervillain who kills, and we see dead bodies everywhere. So we see Peacemaker's body,
Superman,
we see
Batman,
Superman,
Wonder Woman,
Batman,
Green Lantern.
all of them.
All of them.
Of like what this is going to happen with this princess staying in power, and this is why she was doing it.
This is where she's got to go.
And Waller gets enough impression of like, this is legitimate, we gotta fucking kill the princess. Rick Flag Sr. says, no, I know her. She's like, yeah, well, fucking her doesn't mean you know her, pretty much. Like, bumping uglies. And I thought that was interesting because it starts with them making out and her like showing how much she loves him. And so this is why I'm thinking I believe Cersei is telling the truth. Because I think she was intentionally seducing Rick Flag to clout his judgment of her and take her focus off of her, or off of like you know, the whole thing of like her being the villain. So you know what I mean? So I think that's
All I
what's happening.
know is David Harbour as Frankenstein is awesome.
I'm telling
Are you making fun of me because I can't grow hair on my face? What, dude?
Yeah.
When he's in the helicopter?
Yeah.
Of course she loves him. He loves her.
Yeah. Look at them.
Look at them.
I was telling you, like,
And then the fight he has with Rick Flag.
again, I love what his approach of like, okay, we're gonna keep consistent, and these actors are gonna keep portraying these characters, because I had said this whole time with David Harbour being cast as Frankenstein, I'm like, God, I cannot wait for him to be like live action like David Harbour as Frankenstein. I need that in my life. But yeah, his whole arc in this is great too, of like him, like you kind of see his perspective of it, of always never being enough for her, you know, and any man that she talks to, she loves him, because I can't grow hair on my face. Yeah, and that fight scene's fucking great. He's like, okay, we're friends. He's like, wait, what?
Yeah, well, he's got his gun pointed at his eye, and he's just like, I'll shoot you, or you can let me down. You know, I'm pretty much.
Yeah, I don't
your,
know how
your eye
bulletproof
isn't
your eye
bulletproof.
is. Yeah. And then he's just
He
like,
starts crying and
so
shit.
then he cries. He's like, she loves you. Blah, blah. He's like, no, I'm definitely not her type. Like, that's not what's going on. And then, the whole sequence where they make a deal of like, okay, we'll work together to get to the princess, and you can get to the bride because the
Yeah.
bride's going to kill her.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. Then we're okay, friend. And he's like, what the fuck?
Sure.
And so yeah, we also find out about Weasel, and that he
Tragic backstory.
the fact that he never killed those kids. He was just playing. You know, they were playing with him because they showed him kindness because they fed him, and didn't freak out of this human-sized weasel, and weren't like, because they're kids. What do kids know? And yeah, so then some dude thinks he's like the groundskeeper or something, thinks he's attacking the kids and tries to shoot him, and that causes the fire. Of course, he drags the kids out to save them, and they think that he tried to kill them or eat
Well,
them.
no, they think he's trying to attack them. I don't know if they just don't see the girl. He's got the girl or what.
Oh yeah, but it's also because I think
But that's why he's not able
Yeah.
to get out with her. And then they shoot him, and he
Yeah.
drops her, and then they hold him down and don't even. They're so intent on capturing him that they don't even realize that they can save one of the kids.
yeah, and then you
It's just-
see
it
that
just-
all this
yeah.
flashback happens when he's sleeping, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Do you ever think that he ever thinks about her or these kids when he eats the pictures and stuff?" And it's just like, oh, damn. Yeah, and it's like that's the beauty of what he's trying to do with this series. It has his and I think this again. I think this is intentional, and I think we see that with the Superman trailer, where this show is, I think, extremely intentional
Yeah.
for him to go to his roots,
Mm-hmm.
his like horror movie, trauma movie roots of the violence and the gore and the sex and all that, and because I think it's going to be this crazy bait and switch what we see with Superman and what he's going to do with that character. And I do want to talk about that in a minute, but I still want to talk about, again, the level of thought that gets put. I can see the level, like, okay, we'll segue into Superman out of this, but because I think we've talked about everything we want to talk about with that episode, right?
Oh, what's her name? Fucking kills that big ape dude.
Oh yeah. Because
He tries to take what's her name's
dinner
food.
tray.
Yeah.
And Foster's becoming friends with her. Like he's like, are we friends now?
Friends now.
I guess so. Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge bait and switch with that Superman movie because I think this is him kind of laying out like, again, these are the things you know me for. I'm taking more obscure characters and giving them some shine and giving these backstories, and you know, he's really good at the found family, band of misfits stuff. And then I think what we're going to see with Superman is totally different. And I think what we saw from the trailer, I think is that it's pretty evident to me that that's definitely what we're getting with this Superman movie. Because holy shit, did that move me in a way that I didn't think. And I think it's maybe just because I think where the world is headed and where America's headed, it's like it gives you hope, it gives you something to believe in. And I'm like, I texted you, I'm like, the world needs Superman now, more than ever. And
Let's start. I mean, first things first. Like you and I mean, everybody has to watch it the first time. And the first time you're watching it, and there's this, tundra, and
these
you
crash lands.
yeah, and then you hear this whistling, and then he just crash lands, and you're like, and you get closer, and as you get closer, you see he's fucking beat up,
he's pained,
brutally, yeah, and you're like, okay, and then that fucking guitar starts.
Because it's their take on the classic John Williams theme.
And
you're like,
you
"Oh."
see fucking
Crypto just
Corn Sweat
ripping-
walking through the crowd in front of the Daily Planet as Clark Kent, and he's got that Christopher Reeve it just, dude, to me, it evoked so much of what made those movies great. And I'm talking 1 and 2. I'm not going to talk about 3 or 4. Just why.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
dude, that was a big part of my childhood. And to see something, we've talked about this before. I trust James Gunn a lot. I give him a lot of leeway. I try not to expect anything because I know what he's going to give me is going to be better than what I can expect, or anything I can surmise or whatever. But some people are talking about like, oh, I don't really like the this, that, or the other thing. Like, what's his? Nicholas Hoult looks awesome as Lex Luthor. Rachel Brosnahan looks perfect as Lois Lane.
Yeah, in terms of tone, in terms
I
of...
liked that it seems like his dad is like broke as shit.
Yeah.
That shitty like little house when they show him and his dad.
Yeah.
Instead of like a giant farm like all the other.
For me, the whole time that...
We see Fortress of Solitude.
What I think I love about this is we've heard that this is going to be more score focused. It's not going to be as much of the needle drops that he usually does. And that excites me, especially when I saw this and heard what this is, and like, oh man, because I was shaken to my core of like, holy shit, man. And it's like, it nails that classic beauty of Superman and why I love him. Because he is hope. And I like, those Snyder movies try to preach that, but they never deliver on that. And I
also,
think
you made him kill somebody in the first movie. I'm sorry, but what did he say again? That shithead,
But for
Zack
me-
Snyder. When you get done, I want
Yeah,
to revisit that.
your gods and fuck.
No, go ahead.
Let your gods kill or some shit like that. I don't care.
Continue your thing.
Fuck him. He had his chance. So, my thing with that, with like what I got emotional was the music, and that feeling of this is a movie about
Awesome. Such a fat guitar tone,
being
dude.
a hero in a time and the people that don't necessarily accept you, and saving people that don't really like you, and like the idea of what Superman is and being the perfect thing, and what Superman is, what we should all strive to be, and Clark Kent is the person we should all want to be, and like I think we're gonna get that in spades, and I think
Nathan
that,
Fillion
I
looks
think this
awesome.
character means so much to James
Gardner.
Gunn and like what the core of DC, that I don't think he's gonna put his typical James Gunn shit in it.
No.
I think it's gonna be a classic Superman feel. And look, I will tell you right now, if you don't like this and you think he's too much of a Boy Scout and he's boring, fine. Then you never really liked the character, and that's okay. But for me, I'm gonna eat this shit up. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it got me excited about Superman again, and I haven't been excited about Superman, I don't think, ever. Even when Man of Steel came in, I was like, yeah, it was okay, it was cool, I liked it.
I was excited by the trailer, and I really.
But I was inspired, man. This is some good
right.
shit. You know?
They've had that. They've had the Man of Steel, which I really enjoyed the take on it. You know what I mean?
And I've talked a lot about how I feel about the Snyderverse and all
Yeah.
that. But I love the idea that we're going to get back to a more traditional
Superman Returns.
story, you know?
Superman Returns tried to kind of pony off of the Christopher Reeve movies. We know now that at least 2 people involved in that movie were sexual predators. So, the director and Kevin Spacey, which I got to be honest, he was great in that movie. He was. I hate that
Yeah.
because he was really, really good at it. But Parker Posey's in that.
Oh.
She plays. What's her
I've
name?
never watched Superman Returns.
Really. It's
Never cared to. See,
you're not missing anything.
No, I was always a Spider-Man.
really not.
I always a Spider-Man and Batman kid growing up, so like Superman was never really my thing.
Well, the idea is that he
But
comes
as I've
back.
gotten older, I've liked Superman more.
The idea is that he comes back after being away for God knows how long,
Yeah.
like 6 years, and coincidentally, Lois Lane is married and she has a 6-year-old kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the idea
Oh,
is
I know.
that.
I know all about that.
Oh, okay, good.
No, I think it's hitting the right tones for me. I've had friends that are kind of skeptical of it because they've been burned by DC. I trust James Gunn. I understand how some people, again, might feel like this comes off too cheesy. I'm like, then, again, I just don't think you like Superman because that's what Superman always has been. And always has some level of cheesiness to him. All of this shit does. It's fucking comic books. But anyway, I'm excited. And the Crypto, what really hit me to my core was when Crypto saves him. And you see as that guitar is like ripping across and you see him ripping through the snow, getting to him after just like a little faint whistle. And like seeing and him smelling the cape and him saying, Crypto, take me home. Take us home. It's like that moment right there. I'm like, he gets it. He just fucking gets it. And you know how much this means to him. And like how he knows how important this is to what they're going to start doing with the DCU and where this is going to go. And I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm going to be fucking there day one in July. I might even wear a cape. That's how excited I am.
I'm going to wear a fucking cape. Let's wear capes. You know we're going to see it together.
Yeah. So an interesting thing.
Are we not?
Yeah, sure. I mean, why wouldn't we? Damn. Long. Oh, yeah. Oh, these speakers.
It's a long box.
That's
It's
right.
in our box.
It's a long box. Hey, happy holidays, everybody. I mean, I know it's Merry Christmas for these elves out
Yeah.
here. But, you know, if you don't celebrate
Hey.
Christmas, happy holidays.
Here's my thing, and
Our
it's
holiday special.
It's a very simple way. What I've been doing lately is Happy Holidays and Merry Christmas, and also if I don't know if you celebrate Christmas or not, I'm going to say Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
If I know that you celebrate Christmas, if you're my friend, I'm going to say Merry Christmas.
It's really just a blanket thing for me. I'm just like, I don't know what you celebrate, so happy holidays.
Right? No, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like you, like I have no problem saying Merry Christmas to you.
Sure. If
'Cause
someone
I
says
know
Merry
you
Christmas,
celebrate- right.
I'll say it back. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna say Happy Hanukkah. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
there's not a war on
I'm not
Christmas.
Jewish.
Is the point we're fucking making.
Is my point.
There's not a war on Christmas. Anyway,
Yes.
Johnny Quest.
Oh wow.
So-
yeah, you just said you called when I called you last night about the show. You're like, oh yeah, I'm just watching Johnny Quest.
Well, okay, so Max is as stupid as these streaming apps are and everything, because it's dumb that there's so many. You can find some real gems.
Oh, like the Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera's got a whole fucking a whole hub on Max, dude. And they have and one of the things they have a lot of the 60s cartoons, but one of them is Johnny Quest. And when I was younger, we watched Johnny Quest on TV, and it was just on, I think Saturday mornings or Sundays, I don't know, sometime it was on. And we would watch it from time to time. When you're a little kid, you don't understand TV schedules, prime time. You don't understand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I know that when I was in third grade, I would get home from school just in time to watch G.I. Joe and Transformers. Now, looking back, I'm pretty sure it was probably 3 and 3:30 or 4 and 4:30. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I don't know, and I didn't then. It was just I got home and hopefully it was on. You're just
Yeah.
you don't fucking know. Anyway,
But see, for me, it was like Toonami. It was like Dragon Ball Z and shit.
right?
That was
Did
on
you
at like
know?
4 o'clock.
You knew
But
what time?
I don't. At some point, I did, but yeah, it was like you. It was like, well, it's just on after school when I come home. You know?
This is probably like I'm 8 or 9.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Third
But
grade.
when I got a little bit older, I kind of figured it out. But yeah, you're right. When you're a kid, you're like, oh, it's just on after school. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you're aware of time. It's just
Yeah.
those are not things that like. I have no idea when I caught Johnny Quest.
Yeah.
It was just on at some point, and I watched a lot of it. And because there was no videotapes and DVDs back then and collections. It was a whole season. Like,
So
shut up.
how is it in 2024?
So here's one. I remember one in particular episode that they were using red and blue paint.
Okay.
And it reminded me of cotton candy. And it turns out that this episode is called I think it was The Mystery of the Invisible Monster or something like that. But what happened was this scientist he made up a monster that was invisible, but it was like super powerful and ate energy.
Okay.
Right? So, like, they went up there and they had these rocket packs. And at one point, Haji almost gets caught because his rocket pack doesn't work, and they go down and save him and stuff.
Yeah.
And their idea is, hey, we're gonna track this through the jungles and stuff because we can see where it's going. It causes destruction wherever it goes, and then we're gonna paint it so we can see it.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, and before I watched the episode, because the thumbnail on the Max app is Race Bannon and Dr. Quest, and they both one of them has 2 bags of blue paint, and the other one has 2 bags of red paint. Mm-hmm. And they're on their rocket packs, and they're kind of flying through the air, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's the episode I remember. Let me watch this one. And I don't remember what I thought it looked like, but it turns out it's like this like giant thing with an eyeball and like 2 feet. And it's not really anything that impressive at all. The cartoon was actually pretty good. I think for my money, that cartoon was pretty good for the time, and it worked. I mean, you're really putting a lot of thought into a kid's show.
Well,
And kids are getting interested in science.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because of the
Even if it's fake.
Because of the Hanna-Barbera stuff. Yeah, Lincoln has been watching Scooby-Doo. Like the original Scooby-Doo, the Scooby-Doo show, like the first one, and then he was also watching Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Which was the one that I used to watch that would, like, when I was a kid, it would just be on like reruns on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see even him at 2, it's captivating him and interesting him. And especially how far his animation has come. And with the movies that he's exposed to now, and the level of animation that he's exposed to now, even then, and like you talk about with science, I think that's what Scooby-Doo was doing for him. Like it seems to me is gravitating a little bit more towards like monsters and like spooky stuff. Like he likes Night Before Christmas. And I know that he likes Venom because I like Venom, but like he seems to like the like.
Johnny Quest was
it
was a Monster of the Week type of show.
Yeah, and that's what those cartoons were.
Yeah. But they were really well animated and really well written, and I mean it was just a pretty good. And of course, Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, later on, many years later, made the whole joke about race and Dr. Quest being a thing. You know.
Yeah. Well, my thing too with but you do realize though, and I understand that it was a limitation of the time.
Yeah.
But you definitely recognize reused
absolutely,
shots a
yeah.
lot, and reused.
You
backgrounds
can
like
absolutely tell they had a formula. They were like, as many figure posings we can reuse.
Yeah.
We will, and
many
backgrounds,
assets that we can
the
reuse,
rotating backgrounds. If you ever watch a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, you're watching Yogi or George Jetson or Fred Flintstone or anybody running. Look at the background because it's just the same background rotating.
Yeah.
It's saved a shitload of money, dude.
But that's
Great trivia
stuff.
stuff.
I guess I noticed that a long time ago, but watching it again with my kid, I'm noticing it more and more. They're like, okay, so yeah, they reused this shot here, this here. You know, like
you're more sophisticated too.
Even
now,
on the
obviously.
even on the lip sync, you could tell how they're matching what's being said on the sync, but like. They're still just their animation is the same generic animation or whatever they're saying.
So back in the
you know what I mean?
Back in the '60s, there was this company, I can't remember what they were called, but what they would do is they would take comic books, actual comic books, and reprint them, and then they would zoom in on the page and cut out the mouth of the characters and just have like a human mouth. You've seen the orange.
Annoying orange, yeah.
The internet orange.
Yeah, the annoying orange.
Right. Same concept, but like that's what they had back then.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because you could tell they couldn't really keep the camera on it exactly right.
Yeah.
But it was just terrible. And I remember I was a lot younger, probably, I don't know, 11, 12, and they put them out on video, and this was right around the time like video stores and everything and whatnot. And I was like, oh, I want to get this, and my brother's like, yeah, it's not what you think. And I'm like, because he remembered him, and I'm like, no, it's Captain America, da da da. And we got it home, and it was literally like these cartoons, and like somebody would zoom in on the page, and then this mouth would appear, and like, I'm Captain America, and then the next panel, and it's like, I was so disappointed. My brother was like, I told you, dude.
It's like when we watched the Godzilla movie.
From the 90s?
No, when we watched the one for the show, the versus the acid monster or something like that. And you're like, I couldn't do it, man. Yeah, no, they're definitely, like, that's what I mean. It's like Johnny Quest and Scooby-Doo actually have quality to them where it's like it doesn't look terrible.
I'll watch Johnny Quest. And yeah, it's when I don't know when Godzilla movies didn't become a big deal to me anymore. I know I really liked him when I was a kid, but like now it's just even, it's so obvious that it's a dude in a suit.
Yeah,
you know what
high
I mean,
definition
right?
does it.
Well,
you don't know. True. It's true.
I probably knew
I am
at
finding
age
out
10 that it was a dude in a suit. You know what I mean?
These 4K TVs and what they're doing with remasters do these movies don't do
Dirty.
these movies
They do these
justice
movies
because
dirty.
You see more of the warts and the wrinkles and the
Well,
like. I was watching Jingle All the Way and I
Oh.
noticed like a couple characters were talking and you could tell which actors were smokers because you could see the yellow tinge on their teeth from this. And I was just like, dang. And it wasn't that high def in '97. You know what I mean? But yeah, it just.
I guess I have yellow teeth.
No, I'm just saying in general.
I probably do.
I'm just saying in general that like the level of high definition, those movies were not made for that. So you're like, wow, you're really seeing. Wow, this passed for quality in '97 versus now. You know what I mean?
Like one big thing, and we'll get to yours here because
Yeah, sure. No, dude, we're just chit chatting
I
here
know,
with the elves.
but
Santa's off doing his thing.
I like watching Cheers and like Newhart, and those are both '80s era sitcoms.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the camera, the rate, refresh rate, all that stuff. Like it's amazing, like how much they don't do as much visual stuff as they. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just you knew that they knew how to. Okay, this is what our limitations are on TV.
Well, that's why.
So we
it's
can't like
always,
show
two
a
or three
picture
sets
of somebody.
at most.
Yeah. We can't show a picture of somebody and the audience will be able to see it.
Right. And
Unless we zoom in and we only have two
these
whatever.
mirrors can't have. They actually have mirrors in them because they'll see the camera.
Something. I
or
don't
some
know.
sort of shit. Yeah.
But yeah, and you're just like, oh my god, I love watching like really clear and when you're watching any streaming games, I don't know if it's just my Wi-Fi or what, but at some point it'll go to like 480p. You know what I mean?
Like a football game or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a live streaming football game like on Amazon or Peacock.
Oh yeah, when it dips hard.
Yeah, and you're just like,
It'll
it
come
looks
back,
like it's
but
raining.
like-
You're just
yeah,
like, what the fuck is wrong with the
looks like
camera?
you're watching a fucking.
And when it comes back, you're
Super
like, don't
Nintendo.
ever do that again, you son of a
It's
bitch.
like you're watching a Super Nintendo game. Like, what the hell?
This is 8-bit? What the fuck?
No, it's like, yeah, dude, it'll happen. Or they'll like skip a play, and you're like, what happened? Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny Quest is good.
So yeah, my long box is another video game. I think I might have spoken about it a little bit, but I said that I wanted to talk about it when I've actually put some time into it, I think. But I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 lately. And it was a game that I was struggling to connect with. Like, I really love what they were doing with the story and with the characters that you meet. And all, like just the environmental storytelling, like so much I liked about it, but I just couldn't get the combat right, and I was just getting beaten to shit like every time I went into a combat. So I was like, there's something like missing piece, or I'm not doing something right. So I wasn't like super far in the current character I was on, so I'm like, let me try a different build. I would have just respec the character I was on, but I didn't have enough gold because I was technically an Oathbreaker because I killed somebody I shouldn't. It was a mistake, whatever. Point is,
What game are you talking about?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh.
So,
I was like, did you say what name it was?
yeah. It was Game of the Year in 2023. It's well deserved. It is a fantastic game. Like, I am enjoying the shit out of it. Because I finally got something that clicked where I was like, okay, let me play as a different class, different style of character. Let me do this. And then it just, like, the combat clicked. Because I had a friend of mine, he was like, dude, once you get the combat, it's going to just fall into place and this game's going to just fucking, you're just going to sink you.
You're just going to rock and roll.
And once I figured out what I wanted to do with combat and, like, how I could set up my party of which characters would work in which scenarios and things like that, yeah, I was like, oh, shit, we're cooking. Like, that's when I was like, and this is how I knew it got me, where there was one time I had a dentist appointment, so I had taken and I had extra PTO, so I just taken more time off. So I had extra time in the afternoon. So I was like, I had a little bit of free time, so I was like, oh, I'm going to play for this a little bit. And then, so I played for a few hours, and then it turned into like 4 hours. And then, it was like 3 hours. Then picked up the kid, had dinner and all that stuff, did everything. Ate, had some family time, watched some TV. Ashley fell asleep, and then I was like, cool. Booted it up, played for another 3 or 4 hours. So I played it in like 6 hours in one day, and I'm like, okay, clearly this game has got its hooks in me. Mm-hmm. Clearly it's sinking
a little bit.
And because what makes it so much fun to me is how much detail and how well thought out this game is and how deep it is. If you want it to be, and that's what makes D&D so great and what makes this world so much fun, is it is as deep as you want it to be. The game is tailored to have the experience that you want to have. So I am playing it because I more prefer the story and like I like doing dialogue options and talking my way out and just like I like doing more story stuff. So I like to be a little bit more lean on my combat and like I have fun with the combat, but I don't want to overthink it because that's just not how I want to engage with it.
It's not how I want to roll, man.
And I roll dice. And honestly,
who fucking does
when
it?
I think the thing that held me back from ever playing it was like I'm not into the turn-based combat because that's what it is, like D&D. And I'm not into the whole dice roll. But then I'm like, dude, you literally were playing D&D with some friends for a long time. It's the same thing. What are you being?
What's your problem?
Yeah, it's the same thing. And once I let that go, I've enjoyed it so much more because it has the beauty of D&D on the dice roll, where like there's a critical thing. It's a life or death like dialogue choice, and I could just fuck it up with this roll. And I've had moments where I've gotten into a whole fucking fight because I said the wrong thing because my dice roll sucked. So someone got offended, and again, like that's what makes D&D great. That's what makes this game great. Is at any moment things can change and different things can happen. And then what's fun is I could tell in the little bit of time that I had with the one character, it was already so much different than this current character that I have now. The choices and everything. And that's just how well written the game is. And and what makes it a good role playing game is like when it can like catch me off guard and make me laugh. And like make me like, oh shit, and respond as if I'm the character. So there's a moment where I save, I don't know how much you know about D&D, like tieflings and stuff like that, but so tieflings are viewed as like demons, even though they're not. They're just related to demons. It's a whole thing. But there's these refugees that are in this place, and the druids are there, and they don't want them there anymore. But they're like, we can't leave because there's goblins. We need somebody to kill these goblins. So I'm like, all right, I'll kill the goblins. So
okay.
I'll fucking kill the goblins for you. Shit.
Jeez. Wimps.
But anyway, when you do kill all the goblins or fix this situation, however you do it, there's a party at your camp. And you always have a camp to progress the main story along after you've done, like, so you can rest and restore your health. It also progresses the story and blah, blah, blah. So you go back there, and that will end the night, but you'll end the night at the party. So I'm like, why not? Let's go have a party. And you go around and you talk to everybody. And I didn't know this would happen. When you talk to members of your party, in this scenario, 3 of them will try and bang you. And I didn't know that going in at all, but I found out myself just by talking to them. Because like the first one I talked to is Lazel. She's this Githeki, like she's this different kind of. They're like this like, I don't even know how to describe them, but they're very much like a warrior class race, like Spartan, like fascistic city state.
They want to do it a lot.
Yeah, well, I talked to her at this party, and she just pretty much lays it out like, I want to fuck you. And I'm like, okay, sure, all right. She's like, and then it's like, yeah, just let me know when you go to bed. And I'm like, okay. So that's literally how I responded when I played. I was like, what? So then I talked to
What's wrong with Rat
another character, and he's like, oh, too bad you're gonna go to bed with her tonight. And I'm like, what? And he was like, we could have some fun. And I'm like, wait, you're trying to bang me? And then I talked to another character, and he's like, I could show you some, like, and he's looking at me very seductively, like, I could show you this thing. I've been, like, something really crazy, like this spell. And I'm like, I'm just walking around like, why is everybody trying to fuck me right now? It was weird. Like, every dude, like, it was the wizard that is on the squad, the rogue that was on the squad, and the fighter. Like,
all those rogues.
But I was like, why is everybody trying to fuck tonight? And then the sex scene that happens at the camp is even funny. So, like, the sex scenes are wild in this game. Like, the romancing is wild, but the sex is even crazy, like, the sex scenes. And there's a whole bunch of memes about it. But she pretty much is, like, again, a dominant, they're a very militaristic, dominant race of people. So when you go to bed with her, she's like, get down on your knees and submit or something like that. And she's, like, wearing, like, S&M shit. Or no, she's naked, like completely naked. And so, but my characters are Dragonborn, so I have a specific dialogue option to say like, no, you submit. And then it gets into like, then it just goes into the sex scene. You don't really see much. They're just naked, rolling around, whatever. But I'm just like, this whole time I'm laughing like, what? I just laugh because I'm like, this was totally unexpected. Like, she's just like, let's do it. And I'm like, all right. But what makes it so much better is the dialogue and shit afterwards that makes you laugh because, well, and the game has a narrator like you would a DM in a D&D session.
They fuck.
Well, yeah, the narrator's like, it was so rigorous that you're sore from the night before, like you're dehydrated and sore, some shit.
Where's the fun in that?
And then I talked to her later at the camp, and she's just like, I squeezed you dry. I'm like, what the hell? Good Lord.
I bet you'd be surprised for me to tell you that no, you didn't.
And then my character's like, will you marry me? He just got down. But that's what's interesting. So you can romance multiple characters, and you could be, whatever you want to be. So you could have, you could be pansexual. So you could have sex with the male characters, female characters, whatever. You can have sex with a bear, technically.
Good. Sounds good.
It's a dude that morphs into a bear. So it's consensual, so it's not weird. But you could have sex with a bear if you wanted to. A bear man. A man bear? A bear man.
Man, bear, pig. Off topic with Jake and Tyler.